Hi, in this video let us see about international trade. What is trade? Trade is a tertiary activity. Trade means exchange of goods and services. One purchases, one sells. That is a trade. Trade is of two levels. That is, if the trade taking place within the country, that is a national trade. If it takes place outside the boundary of national boundary, that is the international trade. The initial form of trade in the primitive societies takes place in the form of barter system. Still it is happening in only one place, that is in India. That is the John Beal Mela that is taking place near Guwahati. The trade, let us see the international history of international trade. Before that, the word salary means Latin word, that is, the salary is coming from the Latin word salarium. It means payment by salt. What does it means? In those times, producing salt from the seawater was unknown to the peoples. They discovered the rock salt. Salt made from rock salt, which is more rare and expensive, so that is why it become mode of payment. That the word salary comes from this salarium. Okay. History of international trade. Silk Route is an early example of long distance trade connecting Rome civilization to the Chinese. Okay, China or Chinese. It is about 6,000 kilometer route. Where silk, Chinese silk, Roman wool and precious metals and other high value commodities from the intermediate points in India, Persia and Central Asia take place. In 15th century onwards, what happened is European colonization began. Along with the trade of exotic commodities, new form of trade was emerged, that is slave trade. What is slave trade? Slave trade is nothing but Portuguese, Dutch, Spanish and British captured the African natives from forcefully transported them to the newly discovered America for their labor in their plantations. Slave trade was lucrative business for more than 200 years until it was abolished in Denmark in 1729 and Great Britain 1807 and US in 1808. After Industrial Revolution, what happened means the demand for raw materials like grain, meat, wool also expanded, but the monetary value of these commodities declined in relation to the manufactured goods they are sending. During the World War I and II, what happened is the country imposes trade taxes and quantity restrictions for the first time, and during post-war period, organizations like General Agreement on Tariffs and Trades, which was later become World Trade Organization, helped in reducing this kind of tariffs. International trade is based on, why does this international trade exist? This international trade is based on the principle of comparative advantage, complementarity, transferability of the goods and services, and the principle should be mutually beneficial for these trading partners. That is why this international trade exists. Let us see the basis of international trade. If the one country lacks in one resources of natural resources, there is always a differences in other countries' natural resources. That is one of the reasons. And geological structures. One creates tourism attractions like hill stations, and others lowland areas have the greater potential of agricultural activities like that. And mineral resources and climate. Population factor is also one of the factor. Cultural factor, size of population, stage of economic development, extent of foreign investment and transport. These are all the things that is the basis of international trade. Let us see the important aspects of international trade. There are three important aspects. They are direction of trade, composition, structure, sectoral compositions, and value. The value means the total value of goods and service traded is considered to be the volume of trade. The total volume of trade has been steadily rising over the past decades. Composition of trade. The primary products are dominant in the beginning of the last century. Later, manufactured goods gained prominence, and currently, though the manufacturing sector demands the bulk of global trade, service sector includes travel, transportation, and other commercial services has been showing an upward trend. Direction of trade. Historically, the developing countries of the present used to export the valuable goods and artifacts which were exported to the European countries. During the 19th century, there was a reversal in the direction of trade. The European countries started exporting the manufactured goods from the exchange of foodstuffs and raw materials from their colonies. Europe and US are emerged as a major trading partner in the world and a leader in the trade of manufactured goods. Japan at the time was also a third important trading country. World trade pattern underwent a drastic change during the second half of the 20th century. Europe lost its colonies while India and China and other developing countries started competing with the developed countries. Balance of trade. Let us see what is balance of trade. Balance of trade records a volume of goods and service imported as well as exported by the country to other countries. If the value of import is more than the value of export, the country has a negative or unfavorable balance of trade. If the value of export is more than the value of import, then the country has a positive or favorable balance of trade. Balance of trade and balance of payment have serious implications of the country's economy. If a country have a negative balance of balance, that would means the country spends more on buying than selling their goods, leads to extraction of its financial resources that may further leads to inability to buy the commodity from other countries or goods and services from other countries. Let us see the types of international trade. Bilateral and multilateral trade. Bilateral means two countries, that is country A may agree to trade with some raw materials with the agreement to purchase some other specified items from the country B. That is the bilateral. What is multilateral trade? Multilateral trade is nothing but many trading partners. One country, the same country can trade with a number of other countries and also they can grant the status of most favored nation MFN status on some of the trading partners. Let us see the cases for free trade. Act of opening up the economy for trading is known as free trade or trade liberalization. This liberalization is done by breaking down the trade barriers like tariff. Trade liberalization allows the goods and services from everywhere to compete with the domestic products and services. In this case, country needs to be cautious about dumping dumped goods. What is dumped goods? Dumped goods is nothing but if a country sells lesser price compared to its domestic market, that is called dumping. This needs to be the country is to be cautious while liberalizing the economy. World Trade Organization. In 1948, World Trade Organization is an organization that was established as General Agreement on Tariff and Trade in 1948, which was transformed into World Trade Organization in 1995. World Trade Organization is the only international organization dealing not only with the global rules for trading between the nation, but also resolves the rules for trading systems and resolves the disputes between its member country, and also covers the trade in services like telecommunication, banking, and other intellectual rights issues. What is World Trade Organization? World Trade Organization contains 149 member countries. Members of World Trade Organization was as on December 2005, it is 149 country. The founding members of World Trade Organization is India is also a founding member. World Trade Organization headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Let us see what is regional trade blocks. Regional trade blocks encourage trade between the countries with geographical proximity, similarity, and complementarities in trading items, and to curb the restrictions on trade of developing countries. Today, 120 regional trade blocks generate 52% of the world's trade. There are some concerns related to international trade. They are proved to be detrimental to nations. It leads to dependence of other nations, uneven level of development, exploitation, commercial rivalry leading to wars may also the concerns related to international trade. The gateways of international trade are ports, that is ports and harbors. Ports may provide facilities like docking, loading, unloading, and storage facilities for cargo. Types of ports are based according to the cargo handled. They are industrial ports, commercial ports, and also comprehensive ports. Most of the world's greatest ports are comprehensive ports only. Commercial port is nothing but it is a port handle general cargo, packed and manufactured goods. That is also handle passenger traffics. Industrial ports specialize in bulk cargo like grains, sugar, oil, and chemicals. That is industrial ports. Types of ports based upon the location is inland port, out port. Inland port example is Kolkata is located on the river Hooghly. That is a port linked to this linked the sea through the river is the inland port. Example is Rhine port is also an example. Outport. What is outport? Outport means deep water ports built away from the actual port. These serve as a parent port by receiving those ships which are unable to approach them due to its large size. Example Athens, Piraeus in Greece. These are all the ports. Let us see the type of ports based upon the specialized functions. Oil ports, port of call, packet station, entry port, and naval ports. Oil ports are processing and shipping, deals with the processing and shipping of oils. These are tanker and refinery ports, two types. Tripoli in Lebanon are tanker ports, and also Maracaibo in Venezuela, Eshira in Tunisia, and Gulf of Persia, Abadan port is a refinery port. Port of call. What is port of call? Used to anchor for refueling, watering, and taking food items. Example Singapore port. Packet station. What is packet station? The transportation of passengers and mail across the water body covering short distances. Example Dover port in English, Calais port in France across the English Channel is an example. Entry port means collection centers where the goods are brought from different countries for export. Example Singapore is an entry port for Asia. Naval port where which serve the warships and have repair workshops for them. Kochi port and Karwar port are examples of such ports. These are all examples of naval ports. That's all. If you like the video, please do share, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.